guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to this particular book tag that everybody on my feed is doing these days. And I was tagged to do this by Ben from Doom Antidote. He has an amazing channel. I love his videos and I love his humor as well. So go check it out. It's in the description box below. So yeah, thank you Ben for tagging me. And that being said, this tag is like running around like wildfire. Like it's spreading like so quickly. Like the other day I opened my subscriptions tab on my YouTube app on the phone, and in a row I saw 2 to 3 of the people I've subscribed to do this particular tab. So it was just like, wow, that's very interesting. And yeah, I just didn't want to be left out anyway, and thank you Ben for tagging me anyway. So now that the book of fiasco is done, we can finally start doing videos like these, because the past 2 weeks, until 19 November, it was all booker, but now we are finally free and we are finally doing this tag. So let's put our glasses on and read the questions. The first question is, a popular book everyone loves but you have no interest in reading. I think I don't have a book per se. I actually have a series here, and for someone who reads like anything and everything under the sun, this is one book I don't think I'll ever read ever. Hopefully, I don't think so. And that is A Coat of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I don't know how to pronounce the surname. Anyway, I think it's a very overrated series, and plus I don't have any interest in YA fantasy for that matter, and this thing is like all over the internet. It's just like, I don't know, like everyone just gushes about this book for some reason, but I have no interest. And also bonus book that I don't want to read, or I don't have any interest in reading, is My Dark Vanessa by this particular author whose name I don't remember. And honestly, I've heard it's a very disturbing book to read, and it's not like I don't like disturbing books, but then this is like a very disturbing book to read. So yeah, I think I'll not even read this one as well. So yeah, you have 2 books there that are or 2 books, one series and one book that I have no interest in reading at all. So that being said, moving on to the next one. The next one is a classic book or author you don't have any interest in reading, and for me this has to be The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. The number of times I've DNF'd this book, that it finally led to the donation of the book to an NGO, like it's like epic. Like I've picked this book up like 5 to 10 times in my lifetime, and I've never finished it. I've always like been stuck at like what page 30, 40, I don't know, and I was finally I was like, okay, fine, cool, you know what, I don't like Paulo Coelho, let's just give this book. And yeah, this is one author I really don't have any interest in reading, and this was one book of his that I really didn't like at all. So that being said, an author whose books you have no interest in reading. So yeah, in this, so this is not like classic author, this is like a general author maybe. And for me this would be Rupi Kaur, because I don't know, I don't like social media poetry. This is not me gatekeeping poetry in any way, because I'm just like a small ant in this whole universe just reading books. But for me personally, I don't like social media poetry. It's good to read it on social media and it's cute and you can share it on your Instagram stories or on your Facebook feed, but writing a book on it, no, sorry ma'am, I don't like that. Okay, I may not read those books at all. So Rupi Kaur can keep her book with herself. She has many fans, and so can Atticus for that matter. Now moving on, a problematic author whose books you have no interest in reading. So this is a certain transphobic author that has written a very famous YA fantasy series. And so let me explain this for a bit, right? Because recently, even one of my favorite Nigerian authors, like my top 3 favorite authors of all time, has also come under this radar. And it's a very heartbreaking thing, because people who have whom you have idolized for a very long time come up with stuff like this. It's very, very heartbreaking, okay? Especially with the Nigerian author. I literally felt my heart was shattering, and it's not that I've come to terms with it yet. So the way I work is I work with thresholds, like no matter what. Whenever someone does something, or whenever does something that I feel is wrong, they should like cross a particular threshold, because I kind of end up giving them a lot of chances. I know, sucks big time. And the same thing happened with this YA fantasy author that we all know, who's transphobic. I think her initial tweets didn't affect me much. I was like, okay, cool, you have your opinions, cool, okay, fine. I'm, I mean, like, please, okay, yeah, I mean, just like, don't spread hatred. But the moment, like, this is my threshold, and like all these tweets came up, and my threshold kind of broke open, or like, she crossed the limit, I feel, in my mind, when she kind of promoted a transphobic shop, a shop that sells transphobic items. And that was just the treasure. I was like, that's it, I'm not turning back anymore, and this is it. I'm not going to read any new books from you. I'm not going to read the Harry Potter series. But that being said, I sadly do have 2 books of this particular author that I had. So one of them was bought second hand, and I had even shown it to you during one of my book hauls. I think this was from a store in Mumbai, and the second one I had bought in 2017. So I'm not sure what I want to do with the books yet. I'm not sure. I may read them because I have them already, but the moment I read them, I may just like give them away. But in no way am I supporting this author ever, and in no way am I even buying their new books. So yeah, that's that. And by the way, with the Nigerian author, like, we are still here. So like, that when the threshold crosses, I'll let you know. Until then, I would be reading the books that I have of this person anyway. So just wanted to mention my personal thoughts on this particular thing, because I don't like people crossing my threshold, and once people cross my threshold, I'm never looking back, and I'm like, dude, you're out of my life, out of my view, and I'm just gonna block you for my entire lifetime. So yeah, that's that. Anyway, that being said, let's move on to the next question, and that's an author you have read couple of books from and decided their books are not for you. So for this one I selected Sally Rooney, Normal People. Apparently a lot of people love this book. I loathed and hated this book. This is my worst read of 2020, okay? I hate this book. I'm not going to read Sally Rooney ever again. And I mean, the point is that I understand where that kind of millennial thing comes from, and I'm a millennial myself, but then it's so, I don't know, you get the gist, right? So yeah, Sally Rooney is not for me. I'm never going to read any books from Sally Rooney. I just hope this video doesn't turn out to be controversial. Thank you so much. Moving on to the next question. A genre you have no interest in, or a genre you have tried but couldn't get into. I think this has to be fantasy. I don't like much of fantasy. It's not like I don't read fantasy books. It's like I've read very few fantasy books in my entire lifetime, and I select like more of contemporary, or literary, or thrillers, or fantasy, no matter what. That being said, it's not that I'm dissing fantasy. It's just that majority of the fantasy books that I've read have sucked, except for like a couple of them. So that's why I am not someone. But that being said, I would be giving fantasy books a chance no matter what. Like recently I got the Philip Pullman series, his Dark Material, so I'm looking forward to read that because that's fantasy. And I'm also looking forward to reading Terry Pratchett, because I've never read Terry Pratchett in my life. So yeah, I mean, certain fantasy authors whom I've never tried out before, I'm going to do that. But yeah, in general, I don't like fantasy, and I don't prefer reading fantasy, like if given a choice. So yeah. The next one is a book you have bought but will never read. So basically, I've actually picked out the book because I remember this when I was cleaning my bookshelf out this weekend or last weekend, and it's this one. This is Sun Tzu for execution, and this is like a business book where basically the art of war is put into these management principles. I bought this like just like this because it was available for cheap, but I don't think I'll ever read this, and I don't know. And yeah, I mean, this book has a lot of jargon, right? And it's not like I don't understand the jargon, it's just like it bores me because I anyway work from like what, 11 to 8, and I already listen to this jargon at work. So, nothing new for me. Maybe I'll just give this a try, but I don't think I'll ever read it, honestly speaking. So, yeah. That being said, the next one is a series you have no interest in, or a series you started and DNF'd. So the series that I actually started and I just DNF'd it, I never completed the whole series, and that is the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare, which sucked big time. I do not know why do people rave about this book, and I do not know why this book is so famous for that matter. Maybe it has like these kind of maybe it's like I have outgrown these kind of things, right? Because people who read Cassie Clare are actually like 16-17-year-olds who might be at that particular age like me. Even when I was that age, I would read like maybe very light books, genre fiction in general. So yeah, this is one book that I didn't like, and it's one series that I didn't like at all, and I would never give Cassie Clare another chance. I mean, so basically, you understand this, right? Like all the authors in the Anti-TBR Tag are the authors that I really don't like at all, and I'm just like, okay, cool, I don't like you, and I may never read you in my entire life. That's the gist of this whole tag. Now, the last question here is a new release you have no intent in reading. No interest in reading. Sorry, my bad. My handwriting's just blah. Anyway, that being said, the book which I selected here was Kamala Harris' new book, The Memoir. So basically, I do respect Kamala Harris as a person, and it's very admirable what she's become as of today. And I really like her. But reading a book by her or about her is not something that I have on my mind. I think this has to do partly with my pet peeve of how Indians try to claim her as half Indian, and they say, oh, her mother's Indian, and we should be proud of their heritage. I'm like, okay, you are proud of the heritage, okay, fine, but I'm 100% sure that she feels that she's 100% American, and she is American. She does not like identify with Indian policies or Indian culture for that matter much, and for her basic like priority is America. So you don't need to like fangirl her, and just because she's like it's a very weird situation. Like I mean the same thing happened when Melania Trump became the first lady, and like her home country, I think Slovenia, like declared a public holiday because someone from their country became the first lady of the United States. So yeah, I mean it was very very I think this whole cultural thing is very weird for me, and it's a pet peeve, and maybe that's why I won't read the book. Not that I won't like it if I read it, it's just that I will go into the book with a bias, and I don't want to do that. So I don't have any interest in reading this at all. So yeah, that's that. Okay, so yes, here is the end of the tag, and I've even like listed the people that I need to tag because I have a lot of tag videos coming up. Like if you've seen my Instagram story, which only like would be staying there for 24 hours. So by the time you watch the video, I'm not sure if you would be it would be there or not, because I'm doing a lot of tag videos. I'll be doing a lot of tag videos in the month of December and January for that matter. And for this particular tag, I'm actually tagging Shalu from Shalu Walia. She has her own like booktube channel. Go check her out. Links in the description box. Paula from Draw Your Book, one of my favorite booktubers. Kirti from Books and Key, again bookish friend, go check her out, Books and Key. The next one's Alay Pakshi from What's Booking, who's an amazing Indian booktuber as well. And then there's Jyotishri and Abhishek, who run this channel called Life Simplified. So these are the people I'm tagging. Go and do the Anti-TBR tag, and I will see you in my next video. Weekly reads? Yes, weekly reads. Okay, fine. Bye.